The story of this game was how the Eagles flat out lied to the whole fucking league these last couple of weeks of the regular season. And I'm there for it all. What's up? It's your boy Cintron coming back to another news and analysis video. Here we're looking at the post-assessment of the Eagles' tremendous victory 31-7 over the New York Football Giants in the divisional round. Man, what a great day to be an Eagles fan. And I told people in the videos leading up to this week that the score would be closer to week 14 than it would be to week 18 in the middle. But nobody could have expected this kind of domination coming from the Eagles, going up 28-0 to end the first half and going to the third quarter. And man, it was just execution at the supreme level. Just pristine. Like, those boys came out there with a determination, with a game plan. And of course they lied to us. But I told you in a couple of videos leading up to this that this was always the case. You didn't know because you weren't watching. So one thing that I want to talk about, just basically this is the whole theme of the video, is how they conserved plays and didn't show strategies to save themselves from being found out in the playoffs. This is always what they wanted to do, always the way they wanted to execute, but they didn't want to showcase this to the league and have it be put on a slideshow to be prepared for. And dropping inklets of it throughout the season wouldn't be enough for teams to give it enough credence. They're gonna go with the film that is piled up. Go with the film that has the most reels. And even if there's modicum or trace over here, you have to go with what you're being shown the most. Just makes sense. And that's how they fucking got over one on everybody. I mean, they ain't doing it again, but you're leaning towards the side of it's not in the majority. It's still only one game. And eventually you're gonna have to, show what you got. Show and tell. You got to come up to the front of the class. It's eventually going to be your turn. Someone else might go first, second, or third, but you eventually have to get up and present. And Super Bowl, hey, you both game plan for each other. Anyways, you have 2 weeks. It is what it is. But until then, all the opponents have to look at, I don't know if it's going to be the 49ers or the Cowboys. Even if it's the Cowboys, especially more so, it's you know each other well. And people made such a big fuss about this being the third time that teams are meeting. Didn't fucking matter. And one key reason why it didn't matter is because we tanked. We sprinkled that vanilla extract on the offense and defense in week 18 matchup and didn't really show anything noteworthy. But what they did show, we're gonna get to a layer of things that they did show here, just to plant things into the mind of future opponents, and to showcase that they were always playing like this. Sorry, suckers that fell for it, but the wrinkle off that triangle, third down, fourth down, short yardage push, where they flipped the ball out there to our second string back, or he's second or third string, Kenneth Gainwell, and he went off for about 14, 15 yards. We showcased that wrinkle, I want to say once, maybe at most twice this year, in different situations, a different type of play. But man, just beautifully executed play, and they were totally sold out. I was going in the middle. There's so much we can do. When you can showcase the same look with the same personnel and operate wrinkles off of that, shift formations out of that, call mirror plays that look exactly the same with the same people lined up in the same positions, but they're a different play that's being run, you to infinity and beyond. You can do so much. And that's what this one play represented. Even though it was just one play, it showcased so much. So every time the opponent lines up, they're going to have to think. Or even if it's just in their subconscious, in the back of their mind, are they really going to run this? Oh, shit, they're running the play. It's too late. When I can plant doubt into your mind, I've already got you. So that's right where the Eagles want to put their opponents. And this was just excellent. And special teams as well, they did that. They had Reed Blankenship, who's actually, he's our backup safety, plays as a starter when C.J. Gardner-Johnson drops into the nickel package. But he actually was a quarterback in high school, coming out of going into Middle Tennessee State. He had the versatility coming out of high school, but him coming into special teams where we eventually did punt the ball, but we eventually did punt the ball. But him doing that, like I said, that was for future opponents. That wasn't, the Giants game was already out of hand. Planting those seeds of discontent, seeds of doubt into people's minds, just creme de la creme, So point number 2, cover change up with press coverage being employed. Like, this is what we've been begging for as Eagles fans, what we've been looking for, especially the latter half of the season, where we're just playing that, zone, sit back and read and react defense. And it killed me to see that when we have the people, the personnel, the talent to play lockdown man coverage across the board. There was no shadowing here because there was nobody worth shadowing. But Slay, I didn't hear a peep from inside. I saw he played off and then came down and crash tackled Hodges and Slayton, I think. Slayton, yeah. It was Slayton. And Slayton, that was when he had his only catch of the game. 1 catch for 4 yards. And Slayton's a more talented receiver than that, but just, couldn't highlight him, couldn't get him the ball. He doesn't play up to his talent level, I believe, as well. So it might be better for him to go a different place and they can maximize his talent and focus on him more in the offense, prioritize him. But that was the only thing we heard from Slay's side. He just played lockdown football. And I'm like, the demise of the secondary was greatly exaggerated. Even Marcus Epps, solid safety, didn't hear anything from him. He 1 or 2 times he overplayed an angle. He was just getting there, making the tackle, but still, even then, he was solid. Just beautifully done. They played in harmony and sync back there. Bye 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 Giants. Yeah, I'm a '90s fan. Showing my age here, but whatever. But that press coverage was everything. None of this, zone and figuring it out. I think we played maybe 1 or 2, maybe top 3, maybe top 4 coverages. But you play something, you settle into it, you're able to get into a groove. Like, you're just naturally, like, you've done it 10, 15 times already in the game. It's coming naturally to you. You mirror, you get there in the hip pocket of that receiver. Like Bradbury, when he got challenged down the sidelines. Yeah, Dan Jones underthrew the ball, or there was one where he overthrew it, one where he underthrew. But since Bradbury was right there and he had been in that practice of doing that throughout the game, it just came natural. Him defending, he knows right where the receiver is. It's that continuity, repetition, repetitiveness that actually helps him out. And just having the muscle memory, just executing right there on the spot. So, I love them playing press coverage. And just, not hiding it anymore. We're wearing that mask, okay, we just expose our true selves. This is what we can do, and it was beautiful. And we beat the Giants this handily. What does it say about the Vikings? And also, about the Giants, they were, they played above their talent level all year, but we brought them back down, crashing to earth. And then another beautiful thing, point 3. We leaned on the run game heavy. I think we had 44 attempts. 263 or 268 yards, one of those two. Just beautiful. Our leading rusher was actually Kenneth Gainwell, 12 totes for 110 yards and a touchdown. Late touchdown to make it 30. I think it was 38-7. I'm sorry, the score, 38-7. Same as that NFC Championship game. And when we won it in 2017. Interesting enough. But yeah, this just was locked down. We were just laser focused in that line, that O line. We'll get to them a little bit later as well, but they just came out pushing past pro and running, creating space. Like we had 150 yards before the running backs were even contacted, which just shows you that they brought the lunch pails to work and just did the damn thing. Like, golly, got off the bus ready, and then it's beautiful. We'll get to Lane Johnson also in a second, but we lean on that run game. 17 attempts for 90 yards, 5.3 yard average for Miles Sanders. He acquitted himself nicely as well. It wasn't even our leading rusher, but he was in attempts. And yeah, it's just great contributions across the board. Boston Scott even came in and got a TD, increasing his TD total against the Giants, 11 TDs. It's beautiful, man. The Giant killer was there. And we played into that, even that small narrative there. Nick Sirianni, attention to detail, was like, hey, we're going to get you this. Just to twist the knife a little deeper. I love it, baby. Psychotic, psycho. But I'm glad we did that. So, like, we hadn't done it in so many games throughout this year, frustrating our fans and, many people. Because why not lean on your strength? Even though it was something that you did last year, you want to change, you want to morph into this passing offense. Be balanced. Balance is the key, my son. Like, it was just beautiful. You couldn't have orchestrated it better. Keeping that Giants defense off balance, but even more so than that, beating their fucking spirits into submission. Because they knew what we were going to run. Even like, oh, Dexter Lawrence wasn't there. Xavier McKinney wasn't there last game. No, Dexter Lawrence was there. Other people, Adoree Jackson wasn't there last game. They were saying, they were conflating the people, whatever, but doesn't matter. Leonard Williams wasn't there right next to Dexter Lawrence. Doesn't matter. Ran right at them and ran down the throats. Even I saw, this was illuminating for me, because usually they don't do this. In the middle of a game, this is how I knew the Giants players had given up. Went right to Dexter Lawrence's side. He gets past him, but, he pulls him down or whatever. I think it might have been Sanders. Could have been Kenny Gainwell, but it might have been Sanders. And then they get up, and he's just like, he's smiling like, you guys just got our number, today. Just like, it's like a resigned, body language and smile on his face. It's like, we know we're not winning this game. He's just resigned because he knows they've been had today. You're out of your fucking depth. You're done. What can you do? Just smile and take it. Take this experience for what it is. It's his first playoff experience, and hopefully he's thinking I'll be back. But you can't be mad at anybody but yourself. You're coming out here and play like this, but you also know that you don't have the talent to keep up with us. There's nothing you can do to stop the opponent despite knowing what's coming. That is deflating. That's disheartening. That's like watching 10,000 troops come at you and you only have 1,000. You're overwhelmed. What the fuck are you supposed to do? You're out of your depth. And there's nothing you can do. Like, you can just fight on, but you're gonna lose heart at some point. Because you're only human, okay? But it was just beautiful to see that happen. Like, just stomping on their hearts. Taking them from giants to little boys. But yeah, it looked like Lane and Jalen were good to go. And it's, all the worry about Hurts, what Hurts are we going to get? Only Hurts I saw on the field was number 1 and the Giants. And the feelings were done, baby. But yeah, he looked excellent. I put him probably about like 85% health-wise, but good enough to run those zone reads. And like, you saw the pickle he put Xavier McKinney in a couple times, as well as Jihad Ward, number 55, a couple times. Just like pausing, like, how do I read? I read him, but then it's too late. He's gone, or he's giving the ball to the back, and it's gone. Like, that 50-50, just that's tough, man. That is tough. Because what are you supposed to do? Unless you can go off an inkling, go off a read, kind of like somebody did in this game. We'll get to some of the faults later. But let me type that in, faults. But yeah, it was just like, there was nothing that you could do but try and just execute what you practice. I mean, like, you're stuck. You're stuck in between a rock and a hard place, and this might just well be. This might as well be Gibraltar, baby. So that was lovely, man. Seeing them putting him in that conundrum, and also seeing Lane Johnson come out there. He had one play, I think, might have been the first series where he was like coming up like, he might be a little tired. I was like, oh, this might be the time for him, to have to come out, or he might not be in the next series, or have to temper expectations and temper his involvement. Nope, came out and played just fine. He said it after the post game interview. He just had to loosen up a little bit. He had obviously gotten tight, but yeah, it's just Lane looked like, even I would say he probably was like maybe 70%. A 70% Lane is better than most tackles out there, because he Ojulari didn't hear anything from him this game. He was quiet as a fucking mouse. Anybody that came to that side, they were just neutralized, just shut down. And he was, what I knew it was okay was he went and jogged kind of like in celebration of us having a big play down the field, like maybe like 15 to 10 yards. He was, jogging the field. I'm like, okay, he's fine. He's good to go. So their injuries were greatly overstated. Even I would have predicted that. I thought that they would be a little bit slower. And you saw Jalen, you knew that they both weren't 100%, but they looked fantastic out there. And one I wanted to get to next is number 5. A.J. Brown might be hurt with a pulled hamstring. Like, he, on that second attempt to try to hit him deep, it looked like he pulled up when after the ball sailed over his head, and he, just briefly, ever so slightly, reached for his hamstring. And I'm like, oh, man. Because we're going to need that dude next round, especially if we're facing the 49ers, to beat that tight coverage. Because the weakness for the 49ers is that secondary. That's where you target them, corners. Yeah, let's see if Dallas does that tomorrow. But I mean, that's a whole other story. But I really hope that he was just in a bad mood. He just was pissed off. But I think that's why Nick Sirianni just sat him down. He was pissed off about that. He was like, I can still go, coach. I want to be in the game. I want to get some stats. He had 3 catches for 22 yards, minimal, but just the threat of him to that side. Some of them were crucial catches, and got us close to a first down. And actually got, I think, 1 first down. So like even though we beat him without using him, he's still pivotal. They need more in the run game, but that just says we can win in multiple ways. Just the story of this team, and I'll get to that in a later video this week. We're just amorphous, man. It's morphin' time. But that offensive line domination out there, just all 5 of those guys, no pizza, were just sublime in blocking and assignments and handling pressure. Jalen Hurts was sacked 1 time. They only got 4 QB pressures the whole game. We just came out there and demoralized that whole unit. Nick McLeod, safety 44, safety corner, whatever. Some scrub personnel who was bragging, just had a nasty look in his eye. Oh, I dominated you guys. Basically, I kept up with you guys starting offense in week 18. Embarrassed his ass, especially on that goal to go touchdown, the screen out there to Devonta Smith. Nick McLeod was right out there on that coverage, and he got his ass pushed back and scored right on you. So take that, Nick. But yeah, it was just lovely to see. Like, the offensive line kept Jalen Hurts upright, kept him clean, made space for those backs. I mean, just the balance. I love to see the PFF grades for this, because it has to be fantastic. They were just out there, man, eating like a motherfucker. How many dogs gonna eat? You know what I'm saying? But the defensive line is what? Oh gosh, no! 5 sacks on the day, man. Had your boy shook. Daniel Jones was shook. He threw a pick, first quarter pick to James Bradbury. He read him the whole way, but man, like, that's the combination of defensive line and secondary working in cahoots to create that turnover, but lock them down. And they're counting on each other to wreak havoc. One wreaks havoc, the one other one benefits. The other one, like the secondary, they keep serve, gives time for the D-line, those rushers to get home. He had that a couple times as well. So they're both playing in cohesion, playing off of each other. It's just lovely to see. But yeah, it's that defensive line. Just like some twists and stunts. Hell, we even blitzed today, and I was like, oh, thank you. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, I think twice, safety blitz. And I'm like, excellent. Not give Daniel Jones, not give Daniel Jones that time back there. He had like one play where I was like, he had 10 seconds to launch a pass, and it was like a 16-yard completion, maybe the longest of the day for them. And I was just like, come on. But other than that, played him tight. Didn't give him space back there, and he was pressing. So like when he had that forced fumble, forced punt, pause, by Josh Sweat, he was covering the backside. He just didn't even see it. He just the ball right out of his hands. And I wish we could have fallen on it, but they were playing so well. Just like I was like whatever, doesn't even matter at this point. But those corners, man, just playing tight. Like Bradbury, heard more from him, but he acquitted himself nicely. That All-Pro was not just for show. Hodgins had 1 for 3, and he just played more like, the stats show that he was more like the player that he actually is, a practice squad level player, a depth player, not a starter in this league. But the faults, T.J. Edwards overrunning, not just overrunning, but like he came into the wrong gap to tackle Saquon Barkley. That's why he had that 39-yard gallop. Discipline. Can't be out there guessing, man. Because they scored 7 off of that drive, and if that was a drive that catapulted them to start to mount a comeback, we'd be looking at that play and analyzing it a lot more harshly. And then Kayvon Wallace, he had some nice special team tackles. But our other linebacker, Kaiser White, coverage. I'm like, you can work on a couple of those things, your positioning, coverage, stuff like that. But I know you got to get back to the rhythm of playing man regularly. I think they're solid linebackers, T.J. Edwards and Kaiser White. No need to play Dean at this point. He'll most likely start next year when one of those two leaves, if not both of them. Hopefully we can keep T.J. Edwards because he's an ascending talent. Every year he's getting better. But I'm going to stop the video there, man. There's just so much to wax poetic about. But this team just came out here to play today and acquitted themselves so well. Like, the league is officially on fucking notice. We noticed, we knew the whole time. But man, those secrets are now out of the bag, baby. It's all good though. We're good enough to have people game plan for us and us to overcome the challenges that they're gonna throw our way. But anyways, this has been Cintron. Fly Eagles fly. Let's go! Like, comment, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Check me out at Cintron, Cintron Anime, Cintron Life, or Cintron Laughs, or other social media.